Nope, done. Thank you.
All right, guys, welcome back. And today we'll be taking a descent back into the most moronic news channel that I think has ever existed in humankind. And we're including doing a pretend news show. Remember that show Wonder Showzen, where the kids would go out and they would bother people?
Who did you exploit today?
Who did I exploit? I don't think I did yet.
But are you?
Yeah, probably sometime today.
So he's talking about the Kyle Rittenhouse case, and here's a shot. You guys aren't going to believe this. You aren't going to believe this. Tim Pool makes a lot of money from Trump supporters, and just coincidentally, his opinion in this video perfectly matches the people who give him this, which he uses to take
Uber cars.
Wisconsin judge denied motion to drop possession of dangerous weapon charge by person under 18. The judge is seemingly doing a decent job. I think most of us would want the judge to just be like, we're throwing this out, case dismissed, Rittenhouse is free to go.
Most of who? A kid kills a couple of people. Nah, you're free to go. And let's keep those super chats coming. Yeah, free to go. Okay, before we get it, there's a lot of interesting and bizarre things in this case that I did not know about that I will tell you what I learned. I wasted, you guys know. I wasted so much time watching I watched the total pretrial hearing. It's online. You could watch it. Just search Kyle Rittenhouse pretrial, whatever. Some weird, bizarre stuff I did not know about in here that I will tell you. But before we get into the weird stuff in this case, let's get to, I don't know, I guess what I would call the most insane part of this video. I mean, and funny. Here we go.
And that's what happened. Joe Biden got in, and that is what we see. We now see the left adamant that Alec Baldwin did nothing wrong because the cognitive dissonance is so insane. I have to assume that this can't be an accident. These people have to genuinely know they're lying and manipulating. The facts of the case in the Alec Baldwin story. We have this from Legal Insurrection. Alec Baldwin's situation beginning to look a lot like manslaughter. This is from Andrew Branca, who says relevant facts assumed to be established.
By the way, where does Tim Pool find these sites? Legal Insurrection, he'll type in something that matches exactly my narrative. Seems like a sane website. CRT, college, and then cartoons.
He was handling a gun on set for a movie, and he shot a cinematographer and the director, killing the cinematographer. They say, here are the relevant facts. That it was Alec Baldwin who was manipulating the gun that fired the projectile that killed Miss Hutchins. That the gun discharged because the trigger was depressed by Baldwin, not because of defect.
Wow, it's really hard to see what's going on here. Very difficult to see what's going on here. Tim Pool makes a bunch of this from people who love this child shooter, Kyle Rittenhouse, love him. But they hate Alec Baldwin because he made fun of Trump or something. So his assessment of these two cases has nothing to do with that bias and this here. It's just a very clear-minded calculation here, which is Alec Baldwin was producing a movie where it looks like he hired a gun safety person who didn't do their job, and people got killed in what even the article that he reads from this right-wing website is no one's saying that this was not an accident.
Separately, we are assuming for the purposes of today's analysis that Baldwin did not intend to injure Mrs. Hutchins.
For this, Alec Baldwin should be tossed into the hole. He should be tossed into prison. Because, of course, that's way worse than a 17-year-old who paid someone else to get a gun, to get around the law that he was not allowed to buy a gun, takes that gun into a crowded, chaotic protest in a city he doesn't live in, and kills a couple people. No, I think we can it's clear. Alec Baldwin should be brutally beaten and tased. I think we can all agree on that one. I actually do think Alec Baldwin should be brutally beaten and tased, but for But not for this, but for that movie Drunk Parents that he made. It's just like, dude, why are you doing bad movies like this? You have all the money in the world. You don't need to say yes to everything. You know, throw him in the hole for that.
Put that coffee down.
Also, I don't like when he was yelling at those sales guys.
Your name's Levine? Yeah. You call yourself a salesman, you son of a bitch?
But there you go. Tim Pool, legal analyst Tim Pool, a kid illegally obtains a gun, runs around a crowded area and shoots a couple people. Set him free. Set him free. A guy in a movie set accidentally shoots somebody because the gun safety person didn't properly deal with the guns. Throw him in the hole. Throw him in the hole. Throw him in a fiery hole.
The then 17-year-old patrolled the streets with an AR-15 type weapon. I believe he was loaded with 223s, so that's, AR-15. Probably capable of handling 5.56. That's irrelevant.
Oh, cool guy. Ooh, tech specs guy. Tech specs guy. Ooh, cool. That's probably 224. That's probably 224 with a 7 engaged. They were probably working with a 4.7. What do those numbers mean, Tim? I made it up. Man, a model heard that. And now that model is in love with you because heard you rattling off those specs. All right, so would you like to get married? It's Giselle. She wants to leave Tom Brady for you after she heard you rattling off those specs. You idiot, you.
Kyle Rittenhouse has scored a series of major victories in pretrial hearings. Now, it's no guarantee he'll be found not guilty, but it does show that it seems the judge is not playing games. The prosecutors are trying to label the individuals who lost their lives that night as victims. The judge says you can't do that. There is evidence that they were rioting, they were looting, and they were committing arson. And as such, they can be referred to in those terms, rioters, looters, or arsonists, but not as victims, as that's too loaded. We're trying to figure...
Okay, Tim Pool's a moron here. This is what happens when you only read right-wing sites or only read the news. So this is also kind of what the mainstream news is reporting. Is they're like, this judge is not going to let them use the word victims, but he will let them use the word arson. But he will let them use the word arsonists, looters, rioters. Tim Pool's using it as in his own stupid little dumb idiot throwing treats to the morons way. And then I guess the sort of mainstream news and maybe like, mainstream kind of like, what would you call it? Like liberal or left-leaning news are also reporting. They're like, yeah, look at this judge. Look at this judge. He's kind of siding with them. He won't let them use the word victims, but he will let them use the word rioters and so on. This is not actually the real interesting part of this. The reason this judge won't let them use the word victims is because he has some theory. He's like, I think, different than most judges on this in that he doesn't like the word victim because it's like a legal thing. He does this in all of his court cases or whatever, because victim kind of assumes that you've already won the case. Oh yeah, they're the victim. It's good sort of crap or whatever. What's actually interesting about this, what's actually seems to be a little bit of the judge might be showing his bias a little bit here, is that he will let these lawyers call these people arsonists, the people who this kid this MAGA fetus Kyle Rittenhouse shot. The judge is allowing them to be called arsonists, looters, rioters. And that would be, in this case, because it doesn't really have to do with the shooting. That's all about, was it self-defense? Was it not self-defense? Blah, 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 all this crap. Doesn't really have anything to do with the actual shooting itself, which they're going to analyze the videotape and all this crap. What it is, seems like to me, and if there's any lawyers in there, you tell me this is more character evidence. It's more like, look at these people. They're of criminal character. They were looting. They were doing arson. There's even a part in this where I guess this is where Tim Pool is getting the judge scolds. If you can see that, judge scolds DA over insane arguments. There is one part where the judge scolds them, and he's like, because the prosecution, they're like, yeah, they did arson. They did arson. The judge is like, that's serious. Like the judge kind of implies like, that's no joke. That's serious. That's bad. Okay, Judge. Okay, Judge, but there's a little bit of a problem. 15 days before this kid shot those two people, he made a video that the prosecution found and wanted to submit as evidence where this kid, Kyle Rittenhouse, is filmed in this video watching these people come out of CVS, black people coming out of CVS, and he says, I wish I had my rifle to shoot those people. So this is the real problem that I'm kind of seeing with this judge. Okay, if we're going to do character evidence, if we're going to call people rioters and looters and scooters, that's about their character, then why not have this CVS video as evidence for his character? Court, please. That's me.
There's another point that I want to make, Your Honor, that is akin to what you had said when you ruled against us on the CVS video and on the fight at the lake. You believed that there was no factual commonality between those prior events and what the defendant did on the night of August 25th. What I'm hearing the defense say is, for example, Mr. Rosenbaum started fires that night. Well, that has nothing to do with the allegation that he chased after Mr. Rittenhouse and tried to physically attack him. Arsonist or alleged arson has nothing to do with an alleged physical assault. All we're talking about is arson. We're talking about being loud and disorderly. We're talking about, being...
I can't believe some of the things you're saying. I mean, all we're talking about is arson. Come on.
Here's another
Weird
thing from this pre-trial hearing. Prosecutors say they have an infrared video from an FBI surveillance plane.
Weird
That shows Rittenhouse followed and confronted the first man he shot. Whoa.
Weird
Okay, enough. Very weird that they would have a FBI surveillance plane running around and taking pictures, but that would cause some big problemos in this case for this kid, MAGA fetus. Also, Tim Pool's thing, his headline, of course, is treats. Of course, it's treats. He's got to throw out those treats. And the title is Kyle Rittenhouse wins major victories in pretrial hearings. Telling them what they want to hear. The problem is it's not totally true. A motion by the defense to include the criminal background of one of the men Rittenhouse killed as evidence for the trial was denied by the judge. Also, the defense also wanted to drop the gun charge because this kid was running around with a gun that he shouldn't have even had in the first place. The judge was like, nah, we're not going to drop that either. This is beautiful because Tim Pool, in this part, he clearly just like kind of punts the thing. He's like, yeah, you idiots get it. And then he kind of also sort of thinks he's a poet at the same time. I love this. Is beautiful.
With Alec Baldwin. I mean, look at the facts in the case. And then we look at the facts of the case of Kyle Rittenhouse, and he was being attacked. Flaming dumpster, all that jazz. It doesn't matter. What they want, and they will take.
Okay, Walt Whitman.
Wow.
Yeah, the guy you like is good and the guy you don't like is bad, okay? Give me the money. That's basically that segment. Check this part out. I don't even know what to call this. Here we go.
Don't you see where this is going when someone like Noam Chomsky becomes so insane? Insane!
I mean, all jokes aside, to sort of defend something like this, which a lot of these people are, a lot of Tim Pool fans, and Tim Pool's probably pretending. I mean, the whole Tim Pool thing is probably a scam, but him as well, encouraging this kind of stuff. Like, what they're supporting here is truly like, I mean, you got to think about, like, if you're a parent and your kid did this, you would have to say to yourself, I made some mistakes. Maybe my parenting is not adding up when your kid does this kind of stuff. I'll read you just a quick summary here of to make this case pretty clear. In a phone interview with the Washington Post, Rittenhouse revealed the gun he used in the shooting was purchased using money he received from the unemployment check during the coronavirus pandemic. Rittenhouse, 17, could not legally purchase the weapon himself, so he gave the money to a friend to buy it for him, according to both Rittenhouse and police reports. I mean, horrible decision number one. I made pretty bad decisions when I was a kid, but they were mostly, like trying to be cool related and fashion related. And honestly, I know that you look at that kid's face and there's kind of nothing behind the eyes, going on. This is the problem. This is a part of the problem, is that it takes a village. It takes a village to raise a moron. It takes a village to raise a moron. Little bit of feeling sorry for this kid because he's a deep moron, and the people who he's hanging out with, they interviewed too. The New York Times did interviews with the people he went to this thing with, and it's just like, oh boy, oh god, okay. But one thing that the prosecution points out is him and this group of army men. Their whole reason for going is that they knew somebody who owned this like car shop, some kind of car repair shop or some crap. That's their excuse for going. We're going to go and guard the car shop. The problem is that this kid was running all around. He got a gun strapped to him and he's running all around. He was nowhere near this car shop that they said they went to defend when he shot these people. So there you go. There's a horrible decision number 1,000 by this kid. But Tim Pool's fans are like, no, that's a good kid. That's the type of kid. That's the type. I hope my kid grows up to do this kind of things. And here's how his lawyers, Rittenhouse's lawyers, this is what they were trying to do. This is bizarre. In court Tuesday, Rittenhouse's lawyers presented age loopholes under the state's hunting law to try to get the count dismissed. That's him illegally having this gun. The state said Rittenhouse was not engaged in legal hunting in August when this happened, so the rules do not apply. So they were like, there's like a sort of a hunting loophole where younger people can have these guns. And they're like, oh yeah, no, we're not going to throw that out because of the fact that he was not hunting. And they're like, oh yeah, that's, oh, right. Okay, here we go. If you watch anybody's videos enough, like if you watch enough video of anybody talking, eventually you'll be like, haha, that's good. I like them. Here we go. Here's an example of that.
I just can't believe it when I go on social media, what people I've known my whole life are willing to say to other people. It's crazy. I feel like we're in Ghostbusters 2. Did you ever see it? Come on. What a great movie. Ghostbusters 1.
Who are you arguing with? I feel like we're in Ghostbusters 2. Come on! Why are you acting like that? Like he's talking to his daughter, who he took to like a baseball game. Come on, you like this? We're having fun. Dad, are you drunk? Come on! You're having a good time. Yeah, it does feel like we're in Ghostbusters 2. My favorite scene in Ghostbusters 2 is when Bill Murray was a 17-year-old and he shot people. He illegally obtained a gun and then shot a bunch of people. This is exactly like Ghostbusters. This is great, too. He's really been worked up about this the past couple days. This is pretty funny. Here we go.
Noam Chomsky. He said that those who refuse to be vaccinated should be isolated from society, and for food, well, that's actually their problem. Big mistake, Noam Chomsky.
He's like the bad guy in an Adam Sandler movie or something. That's your problem, Noam Chomsky. He's been doing this riff the past couple days where he's like, Noam Chomsky was like, Noam Chomsky made the calculation in his head. He's like, yeah, if these people are a danger because they refuse to get vaccinated for no reason, then they don't deserve to be in society. Checks out. So, Noam Chomsky's a left-brained guy or whatever, the crap. Maybe not the best public relations, whatever, but whatever. But he gave these right-wing idiots, some material for the next couple days. I mean, it's kind of confusing because I don't know why they don't all just...
You go in the middle of the woods.
And?
Party.
That's right. Party. Hey, you don't want to get vaccinated?
You go in the middle of the woods.
Instead of doing a revolution, instead of doing a civil war,
You go in the middle of the woods.
But his kind of funny angle on this is like, well, Noam Chomsky, I got you checkmate. I got you checkmated. Because he's like, well, look, Noam Chomsky, all the farmers, he found some like statistic where it's like the majority of farmers are Trump supporters. And he's like, haha, how are you going to get your food, Noam Chomsky? It's not really how farming works. Those farmers need to make money. So they need to sell that crap, all this crap that they farm to cities and all this crap. You know, there are like CEOs of farms. It's not just like a guy picks, oh, I got the corn. There you go. I send to the city. Oh, you got to get a vaccine. I'm not going to send the food anymore. Like, that's like how, in Tim's mind, how it works. So there we go. Tim Pool making money in the worst possible way.
Keep that little smug.
Keeping that little smug. He's doing this. He's also been quoted as saying,
"That is my own sperm."
So that's pretty interesting.
And so here comes my sad commentary.
I would love to hear it. Well, guys, as always, please keep that little smug on. You know, why not? And you know what we say every Friday.
Uber cars.
Take them, you know, don't do this. Don't do this.
Toilets at Flushing.
And don't do that. You get in your
Uber cars.
and you tell the driver.
"That is my own sperm."
And then he does this. Okay, this little Garrison Keillor story doesn't really make any sense, but I think you get it.
Disgusting.
Bye-bye. Hey guys, you're only getting a fraction of the weekly shows. If you want a new motherfucking episode every day, subscribe on Patreon for as little as 2 bones. You get the patron-only Tuesday and Thursday shows, the Bookablega show where we look at important books, and the goddamn weekly behind-the-scenes show. And for only 25 bones, you could become a producer and get your name up here. Look at these people. These people make this show possible. If it wasn't for them, nothing. We don't have a show. We got nothing, and it's garbage. And we have to just leave. We have to just basically walk away, and we don't even really know where we're walking. That's the truly troubling part about all this. But please, become a patron today. For as little as 2 bones, or 5 bones is another level, or 10, or you go the full 25 and you get up here. Big special thanks to these people. Love you guys. Love you guys so much.